what's the police doing to address the young peddlers who are vulnerable in the community? Then 4, what's the police doing to now address the parents and those gang leaders? Then my second question is,
Second.
This is actually my day-to-day experience.
No, it's fine. Come.
Please just pay attention. It's a day-to-day experience. Now, the second question is with regard to stop and search. Most of my colleagues and brethren here know that we, the black and ethnic minority, have a negative perception when it comes to dealing with police. That is a fact. Now, with my own personal experience working with police, I give 100% credit to the police. Having said that, there's still some bad eggs, and I'll give an example. If a policeman is called, or say use 999 or 111, and we report crime, we need a backup. Most cases, from my own experience, the police, when they come in, there's a preferential treatment. I'm not saying all police force. Now, with blacks and Asians, they tend to be heavy-handed when dealing with them, even when there's a minimal resistance, right? Then if you look at YouTube and other forms of video circulating, you see most video being projected where police forces, they're being heavily handled dealing with blacks and other ethnic minorities. If you agree with me, what is the police doing? 1, to educate the people. 2, to enlighten we, the ethnic minority, that they are not being given preferential treatment. Thank you.
Okay, I think the last point is probably the biggest one for me, because confidence from the community towards police is a priority. If the community doesn't have confidence in the police, then we stand no chance of building bridges. Videos which get circulated online of confrontations between police and individuals, we're personally not allowed to speak about cases, especially if they're live. And unless I know the outcome, I can't directly speak about individual cases. But one thing I can say, we are not above the law, the police. We are not above the law. And I can tell you now, I've been doing policing for I'm going to my 17th year now. And I can tell you, we, as police officers, we know the consequences if we break the rules. And we are now living in an age where UK has got the highest level of CCTV in any country you've got in the world. People are now using mobile phones left, right and centre. Any officers that want to abuse the law, they will face the wrath of the law. There won't be no escaping. So we're now in the information age where things are more accessible and we're more accountable. Stop and search. If you look at all my colleagues over here, and even Felix, it's on camera. Yeah? Incidents have to be done on camera. If your camera's not on, you've got questions to answer for. So in terms of, I want you to just feel reassured. There's been so many advancements, technology-wise, to ensure that your rights are maintained. It's at the forefront. And people like, as Pastor Lorraine mentioned, the Commissioner, passionate about how the community is served. That is a powerful woman. And when I mean powerful in the sense of her conviction towards making sure that she serves the community as best she can, and her officers reflect that in everything.
Praise the Lord. My question is one last question.
Praise the Lord. Regarding the first part of this question, which is talking about drugs, how our children get entangled with the drugs. As we all know, it says charity begins at home. we have a lot of presentation that we're supposed to have present today, showing you what you should look for at home when your children start involving with drug. But because of time, we don't have that opportunity to present those information. But one thing I could say is that when you see your child, I mean, you know your child, everybody knows his child at home. When you see something starts strange, or that child starts behaving, or something is changing, you should notice that there is something going wrong. Or sometimes you will see a child that is supposed to, he or she is supposed to go to school, she's missing from school, she's doing a lot of things, or come home with an expensive stuffs. You need to find out where he or she is getting the money from. Sometimes we parents, we don't have time for our children to look into, check their room, see what they are doing, and at the end of the day, these children, we're at the age of technology. They're more smarter than we parents. They're more smarter. You might think, oh, you are smart, but these children of today, they are very, very smart. You need to share, keep on looking. And I know we're all Nigerians. We're here to make money. But a lot of us, we don't have time. Because we want to do 3-4 jobs. And like she simply said, I mean, at the end of the day, these children, God give them to us as a custodian. We're just a caretaker over there. At the end, God will ask you, what have you done? The job that I entrusted in you. But if you're looking for money, and that money, the money that you're looking for, and that child is being taken away from you, what will you do with all those money that you're being looking for? What will you do with it? Let's be a keepers of our children. Watch out, see what your children are doing. If they don't go to school, ask questions. Ask them if they're going, and sometimes we don't know how to say, I love you. Our children, sometimes they need affection. You need to embrace them. You need to tell them how it is. Relationship, you need to build. And sometimes at home, some homes, the relationship has been broken. There's no relationship between mother and even the father and the daughter. It's not between the children. We need to go back to our roots and then build our home. God will help us. The drug, that's what I was saying to you, the issue of the drug, that's why everything comes together. That's why I say, if you see your children start having an expensive thing, it's getting missing, you know that something is happening already. Because when my colleague showed you country life, that is about drug, how they grooms children to a drug life. Sometimes some children, they will be missing and they will go to a switch. They'll be there for maybe the next few days, a week, and you don't know, some parents don't even know where their children is. And at the end of the day, they will put them in a house, whereby that house is a drug house. And they'll be doing it. And sometimes they will come back home, you will see the way they will be eating, doing things. You will know that they haven't been fed proper in the last few days. You need to watch out. What if there is any changes in that child's life? Watch out, cry out. And there is a lot of information out there. I mean, you can see your local officer. Talk to them. They're there to help you. They're there. We're not, I mean, we're human beings as well. But remember, we are here to serve you guys. We're here to serve you. If you see us on the road, approach us, tell us what is happening. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to give you an answer. Even though if we don't have that answer immediately, we go back and ask questions.
Thank you. Just to add to what Quincy mentioned, people, you can do it by calling 101, approach an officer, going to a police station. But also, there's also quite a lot of agencies out there as well that are tasked with ensuring the safety of our young people and tackling issues regarding drugs. The NSPCC is an amazing charity. I was going to show you a video from them, which is 2.5 minutes. But basically, look. Do you want to see it? Yeah. Okay. It's video number 4. And the thing about this video, it details the suffering that parents are going through. Number four. No, 4. They have 3. Okay, try number 3. Number 3. It basically details and outlines. Okay, I think this is the one. Yes. Okay.
No, not my boy, not my son. People don't wake up and decide that they wanna do bad things. If your son's coming in with £110 trainers, you've got to challenge them and ask them where you getting these trainers from. Starting the gang, we just hanging around together. It was like a family without discipline. Do you want £1,000 a week? Yes, please.
I had cousins and brothers around me. I started to watch what they used to do. They used to be out late having fun.
You go from wanting to maybe rob sweets from the sweet shop to robbing phones, money, jewelry.
It's not until you start getting knocked up doors or letters from school to say certain things are happening, you think it's real cushy, but it's not.
If your son's coming in smelling of drugs, like cannabis, if his eyes look like they're bloodshot red.
The white girl is actually cocaine.
Police case in my house, my mum wouldn't believe it, I was saying.
With the females, because they're in that gang, they're insinuating you might have to sleep with me.
Why is he running straight to the bedroom and start saying hello? You get lost in this world of everything that's wrong is good, got from bad to worse.
I wouldn't wish nobody to go down that path. There was things that was going on in my life as well.
You just fall into it. It's just there. It's just part of you. If you're getting phone calls from the school about their behaviour or their attendance, it's hard to get out because of the peer pressure element.
They've become a different person.
You get trapped. You send them class and drugs.
I've lost like 4 friends and they were all gang related.
Like, I've been stabbed, people get shot. You know what I'm saying? It became normal.
Simple, really. You can lose them. If you're worried a young person you know has joined a gang or is at risk, the NSPCC can help. Our specially trained helpline practitioners are here for advice, information and support. They can also offer guidance on how to talk to the young person about potential dangers, how you can support them, and which organisations in your local area can offer help.
So, as you saw in that video, there was highlighting some of the signs, as Felix mentioned, behaviour-wise in school. You're getting phone calls from the school complaining about how your son, daughter, their behaviour is changing, their concerns. They could be coming home with equipment that you didn't purchase. You as a parent will see the changes. The most important thing is just not to suffer in silence. Talk. There's a lot of resources out there. Agencies like the NSPCC, they can signpost you. You will talk to somebody, you relay your story, what's going on, and they can signpost you to the relevant agencies in your local area which can help you tackle that issue. I'm not saying it's going to always be 100% perfect, but it's better than zero support and burying your head in the ground and watching as it deteriorates and gets to a point where you've lost control. But just don't suffer in silence is the big issue, the big point I was mentioning to you.
I just want to talk about the area of the law that governs the consequences of those carrying knives. Because I witnessed some teenager back then, they were fighting. They said, I'll kill you, I'll go to jail for 10 to 5 years, I'm out, but you'll be dead. So it's like the law is not toughened enough, the consequences is not toughened enough. What are the police doing to tackle that area? Because it's quite very dangerous now. But they don't feel it, they just feel, oh, when I kill you, I go to jail 5-10 years, I'm out. I think the law is not toughened enough. So I don't know what they're going to do, what they're going to do about that.
Okay. I mean, from a policing side, we have to represent our views to government who are making the laws. So if we just rewind just to the summit, the Knife Crime Summit that happened this week, held by the Prime Minister, tougher sentencing, one of the issues that was discussed. And we had to produce our evidence, what we feel would be better and help make our lives much easier in tackling the issues. But our role is just to give our account. They had individuals from parents that had lost young ones. They had kinds of experts there giving their views. Policing-wise, we can only do so much. The government will be held to account. They are the ones that have to answer for the laws that they bring in place. We can only do our bit. So I hope that helps. I mean, it's sure it's not fully for us to do the role of changing the laws. We just give the evidence and present our case, what makes things better for us.
Praise the Lord. It's just one last question. I do know that the police usually go to schools to talk to students about knife crime and all that. And on the news last week, I heard them talking about schools excluding children randomly, maybe for very severe issues or very minor issues. And as we all know, like you said, most parents are working. They go very early in the morning and they come back late. Some kids are excluded from school and they just come home. When the parents are not there to, witness if they were excluded or not, or even if they are aware, they still go to their job, doing their normal business, their daily activities every day, leaving this case unattended. What are the police doing about it? Because if there's so much exclusion and things are not done to tackle that area, and the kids are just left on the street because mom is not at home, dad is not at home to look after them, and they're just randomly walking about. Does the police not have a duty of care, to speak to the school about exclusion and all that?
Right, okay, exclusions. Exclusions is an area being looked at currently. There's a correlation between exclusions and violent crime that's been established. It's one thing that I was, the guidance I was given recently in regards to exclusions. Before the view was, if a young person gets excluded, that is a cause of violent crime. We've moved away from that. We now are looking at it as a correlation. If a young person is excluded, then there's a chance that young person is now going to get involved in violent crime. So it is a very important element that has to be addressed. It is an education issue. I mean, working with schools, I know it can be very difficult with the demands that schools are under. When schools are trying to entice parents for applications, they're looking at parents are looking at Ofsteds, the GCSE results. It's very, very difficult. Schools are in a very difficult position when dealing with these situations. The drive is so much towards academia. And so when it comes to managing difficult kids, sometimes the amount of time that's needed and support isn't always given to these young kids. And I work with a pupil referral unit, and that's a unit where kids that get excluded from mainstream go to. And I've seen some very, very bad stories that happened in the past, where the standards where a young person's been permanently excluded, we don't agree with. But having said that, I do feel for schools because of the demands and pressures on them. In terms of policing wise, we go out there and do patrols, and if we see young people during school times, out and about, we go up and speak to them. We can take them back to places of safety. We should challenge them. But in terms of how much we can do, it's limited with regards to the exclusion policy. It's a very much a schooling education issue.
I guess it's something regarding to that issue. According to the lady that's spoken regarding that very important issue, it's back to the parental control, because statistically proven, a child after the age of 8, if you cannot curb that child, you lost that child for life. I mean, at home, we have to start working on our children, because she mentioned that parents are working, fathers are working, nobody is there to control the children. When you are working, you're busy doing other things. How can you actually raise that child up? We need to go back to the roots. Everything we're saying here, I think there was somebody that said that, I mean, if there's a problem and you're just chopping the top every time, what happens? That root is keep on germinating. And the problem we're facing here, we're just chopping the top. We don't tackle the root. For us to be able to achieve our objective, we need to go back to the roots and tackle it.
Thank you so much for your contributions. Can we just give them a round of applause, please? Thank you. You are always in our prayers, and we are working with you. I want to thank the house for your patience. I can see that this service was very meaningful to you all, because many of you are still here. So thank you for your patience, and I want us to welcome the senior father of the house, Apostle Sunday, tonight.
I want to say a very big thank you to the police officers for the teachings, and I want to give a promise that we'll do our best as parents, and especially as Christian parents, to ensure that our children become very good and positive example to the society. I want to once again say a very big thank you, very big thank you. We're just going to